Hein? Ouais, moi c'est good. Si le micro marche à votre bord, puis tout. Si tout marche à votre bord, moi je suis prêt. Good. Okay. Give me a countdown. Alright, so this is going to be an 80% run of Diddy Kong Racing. This is going to be fairly different from a casual playthrough. There's a lot of sequence breaking, which is going to be mainly in the second half of the run, except a little bit at the beginning. So normally you would need to collect at least, I believe, 39 balloons and all the buses and beat all the trophy races and get all the mini games amulet pieces. But the true requirement to get to the last area of the game is to get all 4 trophies and Big Big 1. So we're gonna do some glitches to get to these and skip the other stuff. At least some of the other stuff.
I'm here to help you.
First thing, we're gonna collect some balloons in the overworld and then go out of bounds. So let me transform into plane.
Select abracadabra.
And the way you move fast in plane in this game is by barrel rolling. And hopefully I won't hit any wall. Alright, so now I'm gonna do the first out of bounds. You can clip under the sand here. Like this, and just go to West Big 1 directly. And that out of bounds alone skips like 6 bus races and a lot of tracks.
You can't beat me.
Alright, so there's 2 West Big races. This one also has credits right after, but we're gonna reset out the credits to go beat the second one, which is like the true final boss. Alright, so car mechanic. To go fast in car, you need to tap the A button. So basically, every time you tap the A button, it gives like a little speed boost before going back to the normal level. And you can use that to go a little bit faster than the normal speed your ship's supposed to be able to go to. And it's not really mashing, but it's about maybe 5 times a second you need to press the A button for it to be optimal. It varies a bit depending on the lag of the track, or like specific areas of the track. But most of the time it's about that pace. Also, when you use Zipper, we release the A button because it gives a way better boost. So instead of alternating between A tapping and then releasing the A button for boosts. Also, drifting up the hills is a bit faster than just driving normally. So now I have to wait until the cutscene starts, and when it starts I can reset, because that's when it saves. Okay. So as soon as you see like the little fade in with the Wispy cutscene, you know that it's saved. Because otherwise, if you reset exactly after you finish the boss, it's not gonna save. Alright, so let's go back in the file, and now I'm gonna head to the first area of the game, which is Dino Domain. All the areas, there's 5 main areas, and all of them have like their little team. The first one is pretty much like dinosaur themed, so you're gonna see a few of them in the tracks, and you know, the tracks are based on that. Alright, so it's probably one of the fastest car track. When done good, it's really hard to not bonk, but it flows very well. Also, now it introduces the bananas. So each bananas that you collect up to 10 will give you a better top speed by a little bit. So what we're gonna do in these tracks is we're gonna try to go slightly out of our way to get up to 10 bananas to up our top speed, so that when we use zippers, we're gonna do a lot faster. So now what I just did is called a custom skip. If you pause the exact frame you finish the race, you can just select return to lobby, and it's gonna give you the balloon anyway, and he's gonna say that you beat the track. And what it does is it skips the little cutscene where Taj gives you the balloon and you have to wait and all. So it's really important to get all of those. But it's frame perfect, so it's pretty common to miss those.
We just got a $66 donation from Desfell. He says the promised $66.
Thank you for the good luck. Alright. Here, okay, sometimes if you're a bit too slow, you can get caught in the dino and lose all your speed. Alright. You can also, like I just did, you can pause buffer to get these cutscene skips. Sometimes it can get really hard because there's often lag spikes near the finish lines in some of the tracks. So it can be like, you can press start and it's just never gonna work, and then you're just gonna have to watch the cutscene. Alright, so here there's a little strat called Canyonless. Okay. So it looks a lot harder than it is, but doing the little quick drift to get the balloon near the corner and then using the zipper and chaining both together is actually really, really hard. It's really easy to either miss the balloon or like hit the sand and lose all your speed. I like that. It's very precise. Of course I had to talk about it. Also, another thing I was trying to do here, if you get a lot of air in car, you can gonna drag yourself to the left or right, depending on which side you're facing. So you can, oh, well, I missed it. So you can drag yourself a little bit further in the air, and the longest you will stay in the air, the better it is, because you don't lose as much speed when you are in the air versus when you are rolling on the ground. So here, the first cutscene that we have to watch if you miss the cutscene skip is about 21 seconds, and you cannot skip it. The other ones, you can skip it after about 7 seconds. So it's a big time saver to get all 8 cutscene skip that we need in this run, but it's really hard. Alright, so now the first, another out of bounds. Very simple. If you chain your boost with a barrel, you can easily just bypass the mechanism of the lava that tries to push you up so that you don't go out of bounds. So basically, if you do a roll, it kind of, the game can't push you up while you're in the roll animation. So if you go fast enough, you can just bypass it and go out of bounds. It's gonna be used, I think, in one other places. Alright, 3 out of 4 so far, that's pretty good. So now we're gonna fight Tricky. We're gonna fight him twice, and it's the only boss we're gonna fight beside both Wispigs. The reason we have to fight this boss twice because we have to unlock the trophy race in Dino Domain. But yeah, you have to go through it the normal way to do that. So this one is very simple. It's pretty much, if you look at the map, it's a spiral. You just go up hills. A way to optimize this as much as you can is to drift around. Because when you're not boosting, drifting is actually a little bit faster. But when you're using a balloon, it's better to try not to drift. Because if you drift while you're using a balloon, it kind of kills a bit of the boost faster than if you would just turn normally. So here is a little shortcut you can take. And we usually skip that balloon because it's fairly risky and easy to fall off the mountain, and if you do, you have to restart from the beginning. Alright, so now pretty much what he's gonna say that, oh, we beat him and now he wants us to redo all the 4 tracks we did, but now there's gonna be silver coins to collect. And in casual playthrough it makes it a bit harder because you have to both get all 8 pieces and win the track. But for us it's just slowing us down just a little bit. We're gonna be fine still. In Adventure 1, which is what I'm doing, the coins are not really in bad locations, but if you ever tried the Adventure 2, it can get really tricky to get some of the coins.
Ancient Lake.
Also, I think I didn't mention, it's a lot better to chain together small boost, level 1 blue balloon boost, than using the big boost. The main difference is when you upgrade your balloons, it doesn't really give you a better boost, but it gives you a longer boost. It gives the impression it's better boost, but it's more longer. But you can make it longer by just using 2 individual instead of upgrading it. So you can, and most of the time if you do that, you can then gain a little bit more distance and chain into a zipper or something else to keep your speed even more. So I'm using a little zipper now. It's probably the trickiest silver coin challenge of all the 4 we're gonna do. Because some of the coins are out of the way and you have to slow down a bit. Okay. Sometimes it can be really tricky with all of these shields. Okay, I got it. Sometimes I will put things in your way and it can be really annoying to deal with. They especially like in this track to put stuff right in front of the zipper by the lake, and there's not really any way to avoid it, so hopefully it doesn't happen. Though if it happens, it's usually a pretty good, a little funny thing happens. Oh, okay. Physics being a bit wonky here. Alright, so this coin's okay. It's not that hard, but it's pretty easy to miss. I usually have it set up where I hit the zipper in a certain angle of my turn, and then I usually hit it every time. But if you don't really have like a reference of when to turn and what to do, it's really easy to miss. And then you have to go back down and drive into the sand. It's really slow. Oh, that was little bit weird physics. Alright, so I think that's the second one I missed. It's not too bad. I usually miss 2 or 3 in a run, especially no resets. Alright, so here I'm not gonna go out of bounds on the first lap. I'm gonna collect all the silver points first. So what I wanted to do here is get the blue balloon and then boost into the coin, but okay, that's not too bad. You have to go back in bounds at the end anyway, so missing those 2 in the zippers are not too bad. Any other one that you miss is really bad, because like I just did, you want to go out of bounds at the beginning of the second lap. So any of the first 6 coins that you miss, you will have to go back in bounds in the third lap to go get it again, which is really slow. Okay, so that was the last cutscene skip I had to do. So I got 6 out of 8, which is not bad. I would have liked 8, but it only happened to me once, so I'm not really surprised I missed 2. It's, you know, it's still 8 frame perfect tricks that you have to do, and with the lag and everything, it's not something really consistent.
Fantastic. If you can beat me again.
Alright, so now we have to beat this guy again. The main difference is that I believe he goes just a little bit faster, but also there's like extra stuff in the way, like pillars and stuff. But because we're gonna go quite a bit faster than him, it's not going to happen to us. Unless I miss the start move like this, I might be in a little bit of trouble. So I might get hit by this truck. Oh god, okay. So yeah, normally this truck doesn't hit you, but because I had the medium boost instead of the full boost at the beginning, I was just a little bit too slow to make it. Now it's just a bunch of drifting around. No, this tree has been added to make the balloon a little bit harder. Just a bit of stuff like this. Also, I cannot take the shortcut here because the big difference between the first and the second one, there's no zippers in that tunnel, and there's a bunch of sand that slows you down a lot. So it's actually just faster to go around this time. Alright, so from now on, we actually only have Wispig 2 to beat, but we have a bunch of stuff to do before that.
Well done, kid. You weren't a piece of the
So
ambulance.
pretty much now what this did, beating him the second time, we unlocked the trophies challenge, and from now on it's gonna speed up the game a lot. Because of a glitch that's gonna happen at the end of the trophy races. So basically, trophy races, they're the same 4 tracks that you just did, but the AI is a bit faster. Obviously, I'm going so fast with all the speedrunning tech that it doesn't really bother me, except what it does is, because the AI is faster, you won't encounter them in the same spots as you would usually do. So for some tracks it's good, and for some other tracks it's bad. Because there's going to be spots that are a little bit harder to deal with. And also the main difference is that in trophy races we don't have to do any cuts and skips, so we just smash A to get to the next track.
Fossil Canyon.
So this track, it's actually optimal to go for the zipper on the first lap than collecting the extra 4 bananas. But it's only optimal if you do everything else in the track like almost perfect. And obviously, this is a very hard game to be consistent at, and it's, you know, the physics are a little bit wonky and everything. So I just like to go around and get the extra bananas. Hopefully it doesn't get in the way. Okay. So sometimes if you're unlucky, when you try to go for that little balloon on the corner, the AI is just gonna be like directly in your way and just block you. Hopefully, yeah, just make it right in front of him, so it didn't happen. So now coming up is the glitch that makes this run as fast as it is, because otherwise it would be an hour 30 round. So I'm gonna go out of bounds again, but I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna head under the finish line, and here there's a warrior for some reason, and it puts me here. And you might ask me why I'm doing this. So right now, the game actually still thinks I'm in the trophy race. Also, I'm going to do... So normally the 80% run only gets 11 balloons, golden balloons. But the run requires good RNG to be completed. So I'm going to take a few extra balloons in case I do not get the good RNG. And this is one of the fastest ones to get.
Hello, bye-bye for now. Hello, select abracadabra.
Alright, so I'm gonna head to the snow area, and I'm gonna enter the shortest track possible. Oh, if I could not bonk on this corner. Bonking and playing like in walls is the worst of all three vehicles because it takes a really long time to gain your speed back. Alright, so this is the shortest track, and we're gonna complete it, and then something's gonna happen. So keep in mind, the game at this point still thinks we're doing a trophy race. Because we wrong warp out of a trophy race, it never completed it, so it's still in that mode. Alright, and what it did, you just got the trophy. But now, if you pay attention, it shows the trophy being in Dano Domain, but this is actually the trophy from Snowflake Mountain, which is the area I just did the race in. So, by doing that, I skipped the entire everything in Snowflake Mountain, so now I'm done with this area already. So that skipped doing all 8 races and doing the 2 bosses and also doing the trophy races there. Let's skip a bunch of time. And now we have to do this 2 more times for the other 2 trophies, and then completing Dano the normal way.
Trophy race. Ancient Lake.
And that way we're gonna get all 4 the trophy that we need to enter Future Fallman, which is the last area of the game, where the last boss is. So I hope you guys enjoy the download remains tracks, because we're gonna see them 3 more times. So we do each and every track 7 times in this run. Well, every track in down the mains, and then we do the other tracks 1 time. Okay, that was a good example of dragging myself toward the inner tunnel while being in the air. So, obviously when I jumped, I was, going towards the wall, but I was able to change my direction in the air and go further into the tunnel and avoid the wall.
Jungle Falls.
Alright. So again, we're gonna go out of bounds and hit the wrong warp again. The first time I got wrong warp to the Dragon Forest lobby, and it was in a car. There's actually 3 possible results on the Japanese version, and the most common is this one that I also got the second time. But there's also 2 other results. There's one result which is in the same exact location but with a plane, and that's the result I want for this run, and that's about a 10% chance. And there's another result in which you will respawn in the overworld in the exact same spot you will respawn when you enter a pile. And as of now, I have one more try at the one warp, and if I miss it, then I have to do extra balloons to be able to complete the run. But you could technically grind, go back into Up Top Volcano and do the out of bounds again until you have the good RNG, but you know, it can take like 20 minutes to get it sometimes, so if I don't get it in my 3 tries that I have in my route, then I'm just gonna do the backup routes. So we don't really do a lot of hovercraft in this run, but you saw me doing like a bunch of snaking and like boost. It's faster to snake in hovercraft, because when you snake and you're at top speed, you can actually tap A and do a similar thing of what you do with car. If you don't snake and you're not at top speed, the A tapping doesn't work in hovercraft, so. It's very, very good to be doing that. But it is very, very, very hard on hands if you're not used to it. it hurts quite a bit practicing overcraft. So now we have to do the trophy a third time. This time I want one warp, and the reason it's just you also need to get the trophy for Dino Domain, which we haven't got yet, and it's just faster to complete up top volcano normally than wrong warping into another track. Alright, so I think I'm gonna go for the zipper of the first lap here just to show you guys the difference. The main difference is you don't have like the same amount of speed when you use the zipper as you would do on the other laps. So like the boost is not even that great, and you're gonna just lose a little bit of speed on the other side. Oh, I got wrecked by Tip Top just pushing me to the wall. Happens sometime. You know, as much as the eye is not usually a trouble, stuff like that can happen from time to time because they're still there and they can very much screw you over sometime. Either by like placing items or just being in the way and you know, blocking you and killing all your speed, or like pushing you to a wall. It's fairly rare that you have like a whole round before without at least one of these things happening.
Volcano.
Alright, so now I'm gonna go out of bounds again, but won't do the wrong warp just to complete the track normally. I guess I can explain like how the triggers work out of bounds. So around the track, there's little checkpoints that the game checks if you're still like, you know, on the way, or if you're going backward in the track, and to tell you, you know, okay, you're going the wrong way, just, you know, go back the other on the other side, or you know, something like that. But these triggers extend quite a bit out of bounds, so what we do to prevent the game from thinking we're cheating is just we're eating out all these checkpoints. And by doing that, we can just like loop around out of bounds, and no, we don't have to worry about the game like allowing us to finish the route. Because what happens if you miss one trigger and you go to the next one, it's gonna like, tell you you're going the wrong way, and when that happens, you have to go hit that trigger, because if you don't, you can't complete the track. So it's really important to eat out of those. For Up Top Volcano, it's fairly easy, but so for some other tracks, the triggers can be very hard to hit, or you know, it's really easy to miss it. And you know, some of them are also really close to inbound, so you have to be careful. Because if you go back inbound, you lose a bunch of time. Oh god. That wasn't what I wanted to do, but...
Fossil Canyon.
Alright. I like doing that around here more. I just like the consistency of having 10 bananas. You know you're always going to have the maximum speed out of a zipper. It's a lot more easy to control when you know exactly how much speed you will have, because when you have less speed, obviously you're going to get a little bit slower. So when you have setups of when you turn at specific spots, it's not working. It's gonna work as well as it would with 10, because you're gonna be there like a little bit later, so you're gonna turn it a little bit too early.
Alors, on vient de recevoir un don de 50 $ de la part de Ourson. Yeah!
Alright. So, usually I get destroyed by this track, but it's been pretty good this run. You know the little holes at the beginning here? They can very easily just like mess up the physics and just make you go in the wall, and there's like nothing you can do. But nothing happened once this run, so I'm really happy about it. It's usually something that happens to me all the time. And this jump as well can be fairly annoying sometimes. There's one thing you need to know about this game. The physics are, there's so many bombs and stuff that can just push you into a wall, just change your direction for no reason. It's really hard to deal with sometimes. Alright, so last wrong warp. Hopefully I get the good warp. I got the bad warp, so what I'm gonna do now, if you don't get the plane here to go out of bounds and enter a track, you actually need to get to 16 balloons, because that's the lowest amount of
Select your vehicle.
it's the lowest amount of balloon you can well, actually I can't do that, I just realized. Okay, I'm gonna do something else, it's fine. So instead of going for that route, which I messed up, I'm just gonna grind the wrong warp again and hopefully get it fast. Because the thing I just realized is that I'm still in trophy race mode, and if I would do all the other backup balloon, then I would need to do the trophy race again, and I don't want to do that. Oh, I got it, nice. Wow, that was worth it. Oh god, oh no, okay. So there's a thing here that can happen. If I didn't cancel that text, I would have the text box in the middle of the screen right now, and I have to play with that. And that's, you can't really see anything when that happens, because the text box is black, so that would be pretty hilarious to play with that, but it would be pretty hard. Oh, okay. So, this track is probably one of the most technical tracks in the game. Especially if you want to do all the optimal strats, it's really hard. Oh, that was interesting. While the eye blocking me is making it hard. Oh god. Okay, we're true. So now we have our final trophy that we needed. So the only thing in our way until to finish the game is to get to Wispig 2 now. So first I'm gonna go to Future Funland. So if I did everything right, I should have all 4 trophies, and Wispig 1 should be saved as beaten. So if I hit this thing, okay, it triggered a cutscene. So now I'm going to the last area of the game.
Okay, control.
Alright, so the normal way to enter the Wispig 2 race is to unlock all the amulet pieces by doing the mini games, but we didn't do the mini games, so we're gonna have to ask our friend here to help us, our brother TT. So I'm gonna talk to him a bunch of times because I like talking to him, and I'm gonna bring him over over here. 'Cause I need his help to beat Wispig. Right, I'm messing up a little bit. I should already be in the tunnel, but okay. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to drag over here. That's enough. Oh, that's enough. Okay, I got the lucky push. Nice. So now we can just enter Wispig. So this is the last track in the game. We have to beat Wispig again. And we're in plane, and thankfully there's an out of bounds. Because we can pretty much go out of bounds in all the plane tracks, but like 2, I think. Yeah. Plane is just broken. As soon as there's water, you can pretty much go out of bounds, or like any kind of liquid. Right. Got it. Whoa, I almost went back in bounds. Managed to save it. So now I just have to travel through the level and hit some of the checkpoints so that I can complete the laps. Just gonna take it easy. Alright, so time is gonna be at the end of this lap. So, and time. Alright, 43:21 is pretty good for a marathon run of this. It's not really a marathon safe run because there's a lot of RNG involved, and so I'm very happy with this time. And I hope you guys enjoyed the run.